Alright, Jake doesn't want to film shit, so here I am. Fuck you.
I suck. Where's oh, I'm missing an intercooler clamp, but that's fine.
This is the final piece here to this swap.
Yeah, we got all the fluids filled up. We got all the new AN lines made for the coolers. Got the hot side done and bolted up.
Go down pretty far on that first one, front one. So he's just literally bolting the intercooler down, last piece, and we're gonna crank it.
Yeah, it's ready to start.
Yeah.
In theory, yeah, all the wiring's back together. Fuck, I don't know what else does a car need.
Well, there's also no drive shaft right now, right?
Well, there's a drive shaft, there's like a half shaft in there, but
Shit.
it shouldn't spin around because it's not going to be in gear.
We just turned the key, primed the fuel pump, and it's leaking.
From somewhere.
Do you actually where it's leaking from?
Yeah, it's leaking from that. So it's the fitting right here at the end of the rail, and it's not actually from where it connects to the rail. It's from where the hose connects into the fitting. So got our fuel leak fixed. One of the AN lines kind of like pulled out of the fitting. So we just like re-crimped it and got that shit golden. Just primed it, it didn't leak. So now we got the crank sensor unplugged so that way it won't ignite or spray fuel. We're gonna dry crank it, make sure that the oil fills up the lines and the coolers. So dry cranking it.
I said make sure you're in neutral. Close. I think it's not bad. No weird noises, but it sounds like a Subaru. Like maybe a coil's not plugged in all the way or something. And the fun begins. These are all plugged in. What coils are those?
Yaris coils, or Prius. I got them off of Prius, but they're Yaris Prius 2ZZ coils. From
Interesting.
Toyota.
Do you have an oil pressure gauge on the inside?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Maybe monitor that this time.
Yeah, that's fair.
uh,
I don't see any leaks though.
no, I mean, you got that Subaru mod right now, but...
I think it was because this needs to be pushed down.
Okay. So does normally your cover do that or something?
Yeah, well, like I said, I would leave an Allen wrench on the fucking bolt. Yeah, and then
Trade secrets, people.
Put the
Trade
cover,
secrets.
Put the cover over it and bolt the cover down, and it would put pressure on my flow packs. Yeah,
You're fucking done.
well, I tried to fix the bracket this go round, so I wouldn't have to do that shit. But, you know, it might be tune related though.
She does not want to run right now.
I guess let's just see what the fuel pump does.
Oh yeah. No, it's priming. It's showing about 50 something PSI.
A little high.
It does seem a little high. Drive shaft. Spun. Hopefully it didn't fall out. It spins in neutral, dog, I'm telling you, with no tension on it.
Ah, yeah.
That's definitely what that was. Also, I see a little bit of fluid here. Not sure what that's from.
Oh no, that's oil.
From where? That's not good. This is that shit, bro.
It's fucking that bullshit.
Build the car, they said. You know what I mean? You may want to add some water too. You're looking like you sucked up some water.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it started.
It did start.
Timed it right.
You just gotta tighten up some leaks. Could be worse.
Yeah. So it's the next day after the first start. Decided to find where my oil leak is coming from, and I found the upper fitting for my that sending unit from Drift Motion. That top fitting I ended up leaving loose for some stupid fucking reason. So tighten that back up. I'm gonna try to crank it again and see if it'll start. I also zip tied up my drive shaft so that way it shouldn't be clanking around. Hopefully it'll spin normally-ish. Put some wrenches on the oil leak. I got it to stop leaking from the top fitting right there on the block, I guess, but it's still leaking from a fitting right here. So I guess we tried to kind of start it again just to see while we were testing for more leaks, and it was kind of idling, but I have to hold my foot on the throttle. It might just because it's cold, so I guess we're gonna warm it up. But it also sounds kind of fucking weird. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll show you guys kind of what it sounds like when it kind of stays idling. So see, it kind of just dies right away. Me giving it throttle. Oh, that's probably the drive shaft. So, after forcing it to idle, giving it some throttle, you got it to a good enough temp, just like that fucking drift event, where it's not happy with running. This awful sound I thought was coming from inside the head, but when I press on the front timing cover, it basically goes away. So, it is what I thought it was, and you can see the old timing cover, it done ate its way through. So, either I can swap them out or just let it do its thing, but at least I know the engine's not fucked. All right, we pulled off the harmonic balancer. Got the new one right there. You can kind of see it's starting to dig in. Yeah, a little bit. You can see we got the old one kind of cleaned up, slapped on there. It's already got a little viewing window through to the time belt, so hopefully that extra bit of clearance that's already there. We'll shut this thing up. You can kind of see where it's been in contact, so slap the new one on, get it put back together, fire it up. It's back together, kind of. Need to fill it with water, but we're just gonna test it out. Jeff's trying to go home because his pussy's tired, he says.
Wow.
Okay, if you hold this, see if it makes noise. Oh, good. Hey! Fuck yeah, Jeff boy. No more noise. I can put the rest of the timing covers on. Yo, it's a couple days after the first start, and we have a drive shaft finally. It just showed up. I was in the middle of cleaning up another little something you guys will get to see soon. And yeah, drive shaft delivered. So we're gonna slap that bad boy inside, probably bleed the coolant again, do all that, let it run for a while. We're gonna set the pedal stop on the clutch, bleed the things, get it basically ready for the road. So Jeff boy's here to help. He loves free labor. A little half shaft that was just enough to plug the hole. Now we're gonna fill it. Oh, deep black.
So crazy, it just might work.
Such shitty lighting, you might just see.
I can't see shit myself. Oh, hey. Oh, nice. We got a little bit of room.
And now it's done. So we put together the interior enough that I can bleed the shit, have Jeff help me bleed it, and then probably test drive it before we fully put it back together because we're fucking impatient.
Here's me, just pushing away. This fucking guy.
Yep. So out of the way.
That CD009's working.
So, we've been dealing with clutch issues. We got the brakes bled, still been working on the clutch for a little while now.
That's a clutch issue.
All the time. So, what we ended up having to do, thanks to Jeff's suggestion, is bleeding the clutch master right here at this line. And we did that a couple times. That got us actually developing pressure in the system. So then we ended up bleeding it again down low and got good pressure at the pedal, but it still wasn't quite enough to get the drive wheels to break free when the car is in gear and turned off. So once the clutch releases enough, it should let our wheels turn freely. So that's kind of our test and what the instructions say. So we actually just adjust the pedal out more to give it more throw since the pressure feels good. And I guess Jeff, go ahead and try to, are your clutch in? Yeah. No, not quite. So we still need a little bit more, either throw or maybe bleeding. I've been fighting with the clutch adjustment issue still. Had the pedal all the way max adjusted full throw and it still wasn't getting enough fluid to the slave cylinder to disengage the clutch. So reading the instructions from Tilton, they recommend a 3/4 inch bore master cylinder. S chassis stock is like 5/8. So we went ahead and ordered what Tilton recommends, which is their master cylinder kit. Go figure. Pretty nice piece. The biggest downfall is these mounting points here are all vertical. 180 degrees up and down. S chassis are like 45 degrees. So shout out to Summit Racing. They got me my part. I ordered it Sunday. It got here Monday. Super sick. Chase Bays ordered an adapter bracket for that slave to adapt the two. And it hasn't shipped yet. It's been a couple days and they say on their email like, hey, sorry, you know, COVID, could take 2 to 8 business days to ship. And then shipping times. So I'm like, actually, I got shit to do. So pretty simple bracket what I had ordered and it was like 50 bucks. So true, you know, me fashion. Went to Home Depot, got a piece of plate for $15 and cut it up, make my own, you know, template and just make the bracket myself. So we're gonna get started on that. Got the 2 bolts removed. Simple enough. Pulled out the old cardboard, made a template of the old and new master cylinders. So I got my holes plotted, test fit it on the car to make sure the bracket will fit. Looks like the same shape as what Chase Bay has. So should work. Got the template kind of copied over to my metal here. From my template, drilled the holes. This guy was a real motherfucker. It's a big one. But yeah, brackets line up, all the holes line up. So now it's just time to cut this out of the plate. So we got the master bolted to the bracket, bolted to the chassis and installed. Basically everything about this Tilton Master was a giant pain in the butt. The threaded rod with clevis was the wrong thread pitch, so I ended up having to swap over the stock Nissan rod. The clevis would work. Yeah, the line end here was a -3 on the Tilton. My line was a -4. Had to get an adapter fitting. The reservoir actually sat so close to the firewall, I had to notch the little sill on the firewall to clear the reservoir. Yeah, I guess the bracket obviously because of bolt pattern. So everything about putting this master cylinder in the car, I had to make work. So it's in the car finally. So we bled the master, still need to bleed the slave. I'm gonna get a hand from my girlfriend here in just a second, and then that'll be the test on getting these wheels to, getting the clutch to disengage enough while in gear, meaning I can put the car in gear while it's running and on the ground. So once that's done, this car will be drivable. So fucking wish us luck. After much bleeding from the master cylinder, from the slave cylinder, tons of bleeding, almost an entire big bottle of brake fluid through this whole freaking reservoir, we finally got it. Thanks to my baby. So now we're in first gear. Oh, sorry. In first gear. Wheel won't turn. Go ahead and push in the clutch, baby. Oh, come on. I'm just too weak. So, then let off the clutch. Yeah. So that's enough disengagement. I may end up pulling the pedal back just a slight bit, just that way we save our clutch or whatever, but that should be good. Pedal depth is almost all the way out, but hey, it's working. So next step is gonna be get this baby on the ground and go for a first test drive, but that's gonna be in the next video. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and a comment, and let me know what you think, how excited you are to get this build going. I'm very excited. So yeah, make sure you also subscribe to see the rest of the build and that new goodness that I was hinting to earlier, because that's gonna be probably the next video. But yeah, stay tuned guys. Don't forget to go play in traffic.